Greetings, metaphysicians. This is episode 176, the Body Repair Disc, which is a spiritual technology that can fit in your pocket and help you to heal your body in fast and miraculous ways. Stay tuned to find out more. Enjoy the episode.
You're listening to Let's Get Metaphysical. This podcast explores the spiritual and metaphysical world through the experiences and opinions of the host and those interviewed. It should not necessarily be seen as direct endorsement or personal advice to our listeners. We encourage you to use your own discernment, judgment, and intuition regarding anything you learn from this show. The statements and advice offered in this podcast are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition, and are not substitutes for prudent medical care offered by licensed medical professionals. References to healing or treatments in this episode are describing faith-based blessings performed by God and the master healing angels. Neither this episode nor any part of it may be copied, transcribed, distorted, sold, republished, or distributed without first receiving the express written permission of both the CMA International Foundation and Up and Awaken Productions.
Let's get meta.
Welcome to the Let's Get Metaphysical podcast. I'm your host, Renata Maniaci. Here to remind you, you are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience here on lovely planet Earth. That's right, you are a soul blob stuffed into a human blob, and one blob dies and the other one lives forever. Enjoy it. This is Season 8, Angelic Reformation, and this is episode 176, the Body Repair Disc. This season is all about the body of knowledge known as Angelic Reformation, as well as a close look at each of its tools. Angelic Reformation is what we call the tools, processes, and rapid spiritual development work that has been presented through the teacher, Master John Douglas, by his companions, the Master Angels. It is about the evolution of your consciousness without the use or necessity of outside substances or other interventions. Angelic Reformation is about restructuring one's consciousness from being comprised of earthly human constructs towards one's universal divine structures. It is a set of spiritual development tools that anyone can choose to use alongside any existing spiritual practice, religion, or tradition if desired. Why a whole season about this? Well, the purpose of this podcast, in part, is to encourage a deeper understanding of the invisible and unseen world that nonetheless affects us as intimately as the visible and seen aspects. After 9 years of using the tools of Angelic Reformation, I have found that each tool has helped me to gain a deeper and truer understanding of the unseen and unknown influences affecting me, positively or negatively, all the time. It is these tools and this body of knowledge that has helped me to see the unseen. If you have not yet listened to the first 2 episodes for this season, please go ahead and listen to episode 168, Angelic Reformation, and episode 169, The Evolution of Consciousness, before listening into this one. It will provide needed context for what we're talking about today. Now, if you are ready, then let's get meta. Master Angels, I humbly request your presence, guidance, and support through this episode. Please help these words to be useful to all listeners on their evolutionary journey. Let me know the truth, speak the truth, become the truth, and be the truth. And please let this episode reach whoever needs to hear it. Thank you with full faith. Bless creation. So today we're talking about the body repair disc. As stated in previous episodes, angelic reformation contains a few different aspects. The processes, which are MP3s that are listened to and rapidly develop one's consciousness in various areas. The events, such as the spring and fall tour events and the advanced knowledge course, which all convey innumerable healings and blessings for the attendees. And the tools, which are physical objects like the body repair disc, that are imbued with numerous and specific healing blessings to help us and our pets in various ways. The body repair directed prayer disc is a 24-karat gold-plated disc about the size of a silver dollar, if you know what that is, and comes with a protective plastic case. Here's the description of the body disc direct from the website where it can be purchased at globalcma.org. Headaches, inflamed joints, inflamed tendons, inflamed muscles, arthritic areas, strains, pains, and body aches are sometimes caused by an accumulation of lactic acid, stress hormones, unknown brain chemicals, negative neurotransmitters, toxins, chemicals, and organism waste. The master angels can detoxify, repair, and alleviate localized discomfort and inflammation in the body and restore the pain receptors. It is suggested that one place the body disc on the aggravated area of the body. So I have a lot to say about the body repair disc myself, just from personal use. But before I share that, I am going to play a few testimonials from other people who use the body disc regularly.
Hello, my name is Mary, and I live in Virginia. And I'm going to share about the body repair disc and the difference that it made for me. There was a cold morning in February or in the winter, and there was snow along the sidewalks, and I was rushing to a meeting, and I slipped and landed on my hand, and I felt a sharp pain in my right wrist. So I went to the doctor, and they took an x-ray, and they couldn't quite tell if there was a fracture in my wrist, and it was in the scaphoid bone, which doesn't get a lot of circulation. So they told me to come back in a couple weeks, and then they were going to reevaluate if I needed surgery. So I used the body repair disc on that area of my wrist for a while because there was just pain, and the body repair disc also alleviated my pain. And I was also hoping that I wasn't going to need surgery. So a couple weeks later, I go back to the doctor. They take an x-ray, and they don't see any fracture in the scaphoid bone, and I didn't have to have any surgery. And then within another week or two, the pain in my wrist went away. So there's a couple more things I'm going to share about the difference that the body repair disc made for me. At one point, I discovered a growth on my sternum, and I was a little bit concerned. So what I did is I put the body repair disc on that area for a few weeks. And then within a few weeks, that growth was gone. And when I had a doctor double check it, he didn't find any growth in that area as well. I definitely really love using the body repair disc for any and all painful incidents, whether it's throwing out my back or feeling like I might have carpal tunnel syndrome or anything of that nature. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashley, and I'd like to share a few experiences I've had with the body repair disc. Last winter, I was helping to move a marble top table, which dropped and fell on my foot, resulting in some damage, including a couple of broken toes. And a couple of days in, I had the idea to tape the body repair disc to my foot And in just a couple of hours, I could see a significant improvement in the amount of swelling. My pain and discomfort had dropped, and I wound up keeping it taped to my foot almost constantly for the next 2 weeks. And the end result was a smooth and accelerated healing process. Another way I like to use the body repair disc is just every night when I sleep, I put it under my pillow. And so those processes are active on me during the night. And I wake up feeling stronger, clearer, more refreshed, ready to take on the tasks in my day. And the body repair disc is just something that I keep in my pocket, I keep in my bag, I keep in a drawer in my house, and it just has so many uses when you have different things come up with your physiology, and it will help you and heal you and relieve your discomfort. And it is something that I'm just so grateful to have in my life.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm from California, and this testimonial is about the body repair disc. Normally, I put a lot of tension and impact on my hands at work daily, and my hands have arthritis, and they're definitely swollen. But lately, my right hand has been incredibly more swollen than my left and has been in a lot more discomfort than normal. I decided this morning I would try the body repair disc and put it in this little like a wristband sleeve thing with it has a zipper. So I popped that in there and put the wristband on. And it's not even really on the back of my hand, which is where all the discomfort and pain is. So it was kind of loosely hanging on my wrist, and I was just hoping it was going to work. So 9 hours later, I kid you not, my right hand is the same size as my left. They're still both a little, stressed from work, but the right hand is the same size as the left. There's no aching in it. I'm just blown away by what happened. I mean, I've been with Master John since 2013, and I've experienced a lot of miracles and a lot of amazing things, and each time something new, it just blows me away. I'm just totally blown away.
Hi, this is Kim from the Carolinas, and I had an experience with the body disc that I just have to share. It actually happened quite a while ago, but what happened was I had what seemed to be a spider bite on my hip, and it started turning red and hot in a circle around the bite, a small circle. And I was extremely busy with work at this time and was kind of just trying to ignore it and hope that it would resolve on its own and go away. But the next day, the red circle developed a red line that started moving away from the circle and growing away from the circle toward a big vein in my upper thigh, basically. And again, extremely busy with work, still just kind of ignoring it and hoping that it would go away. And later that evening, the line was just getting longer and longer and closer to that vein. And so I just grabbed my body disc and put it on the bite area and held it there for quite a while I continued to work at the computer. And then I even slept with the disc that night. And the red line stopped progressing. I noticed in the morning it stopped progressing. And later that day, it began to recede. And then later the following evening, basically faded completely. And I did nothing else. I did nothing else to resolve the bite. The only thing that I did was use the body disc. I know unequivocally that body disc is the only thing, and the blessings from the master angels is the only thing that resolved that poisonous spider bite.
Another big thank you to all who shared their experiences with us for this episode. Okay, I have so many different things to share about my personal experience with the body repair disc that I will just get started now. There's so many little things. I just want to say this is something that I carry with me all the time. These tools, whether they're the processes and they can be on your phone, or they're the discs like the food disc, the body disc, and the other two discs we're going to talk about in the next two episodes. These are small. You can carry them with you. And I do. So many of us who are used to using these angelic reformation tools do carry these with us all the time because they can be incredibly useful just whenever something arises throughout the day. So that's just to say, I use this in so many instances where it's needed that I couldn't possibly tell you all the times that I use it, but I'm going to share just a few things here. I mean, bruises, aches, pains. For me, I used to have a lot of back and neck pain. I have less now, but if something was particularly irksome, I would put the body disc on a specific location where I was feeling an ache. And people do this in different ways. It depends on where it is in the body, but you can just use, a wrap to put it in place. Some people use the body tape that you can put it there, depending on, one of the things that I've been using it for recently is one of my Achilles tendons has been hurting for some reason. Actually, not so much lately now that I'm thinking about it, but it was hurting after not so strenuous activity, just like walking around. So what I've been doing is I'll wear a sock on that foot and I'll put the body disc in the sock against my Achilles while I sleep. And I'll always wake up with no pain. And actually, come to think of it, I don't know when the last time I needed to do that was. So these are all just little stories of how the body disc has helped in different ways, as you heard with the testimonials. And some of these are kind of repeats because I use them for those same reasons as well. I also have a broken toes story that I know the body disc did miraculous things to heal my broken toe. I was in Costa Rica, and it was the day before I was leaving for India. So I was going to fly from Costa Rica to the United States and then the United States to New Delhi. And that's a long bit of travel there. I had a suitcase. You're walking a lot in airports. And so I'm getting ready in Costa Rica. And somehow I slammed my toe into my couch. I actually still don't know how that happened, but it happened. And it was my second toe. And it was so painful. For those of you who have had toe injuries, it is the worst and just so incredibly painful. So I was kind of shocked when it happened and in a lot of pain, and also just like, how am I going to do this? Because it was very, very painful to walk. And so what I did is I actually put two body discs. I taped a body disc on top of and below that toe and kind of just laid low the rest of the day. Woke up the next day when I was needing to travel, and it wasn't hurting nearly as much. I mean, it was black and blue when it happened, and then the next day it was slightly less black and blue, still hurt. Made it to the airport, got on the plane. I mean, I went from, how many planes did I take that day? 1, 2, and then 3 was the long one. I wore big shoes so that I could keep the discs on the whole time. On the kind of sandwiched my toe. And I don't know how, beyond using the body disc, which works, by the way, by the time I landed in New Delhi, I could walk without pain. I don't know how it happened, which was only, a day and a half-ish after I broke my toe. And I was over there for a long time. I did not go see a doctor. I would think I was traveling for about a month and a half that time. And just healed me enough so that I could walk normally and not have an issue while I was traveling. And it was like the worst possible time right before you're going to be gone, traveling and walking every day for the next month and a half. So the body disc absolutely, I go back and forth. It sped along the healing process for sure, and it almost just miraculously healed it right away. So you heard the testimonials previously. It's not the first time you heard about the toes, but that was one of my biggest miracles with the body repair disc. I've also used it over surgical areas that I've needed recently. I had skin cancer on my face, and when that was removed, I used the body disc there. I just kept it there for several days afterward, and that healed very quickly. You can barely see the scar. I've done it at other times in other areas that also that had scars or scarring or would have had worse scarring, to great effect. Very fast healing with the body disc. And I also use it when I sleep. I sleep with the body disc underneath my pillow, just so I can receive all of its good effects all night. And I can tell when I don't, if I'm traveling and I forget to or something like that. I just feel differently when I wake up. I can tell that I've gotten a deeper, better sleep if I have the body disc under my head. And there's just so many times where I use it while I'm sleeping in any affected area, either using socks or body tape, or even just like sleeping on top of it on the area that I needed on my back, something like that. And, again, I know that I go into this in these episodes sometimes, but it's almost incomprehensible that this thing that looks like a oversized quarter or, silver dollar can actually speed along your healing process, can reorder your particles, your own individual particles, towards a healing vibration or solution, can perform these miracles. But it can, because of the blessing that the master angels have put upon this device, this tool of angelic reformation. So yes, you can carry something in your pocket. And actually, I do carry it in my pocket frequently if I'm having hip pain, for example. It is a spiritual technology that is now available to us to help us when we're in pain or when something's going on with our body. And there's not anything else other than placing it on the affected area. This isn't talk therapy. This isn't ingesting anything, whether it is pharmaceuticals, painkillers, anything else you can think of. It's not eliminating something. It's not doing any kind of exercise. It's not communicating in a certain way. It's not purging or cleansing or detoxing. And none of those are wrong or bad, but this is just to highlight that you're simply placing an object, a blessed object, on an affected area, and doing so enacts these profound and rapid healings for your body. It's, as I have said before, it's almost too easy. It's almost too easy, and it is easy for people to overlook something that is that simple. To have a thing and put it on, and then you had a huge bruise yesterday and your bruise is almost completely healed today because of this object. So I just wanted to point that out again, because I don't know, it's hard for people to wrap their head around this sometimes. But when you see it in action, there's no other way to describe your rapid healing success. If you use this tool, it is because of this tool. So the body repair disc costs $150 like the other discs and like the processes. It never stops working. It is continually added to and updated when appropriate by the master angels without needing to purchase another. When you do purchase a body disc, it also includes a link to a more in-depth talk called A Guide to the Body Repair Directed Prayer Disc. And this is a talk of Master John Douglas explaining the disc and what it does, which I very highly recommend listening to. The teacher, Master John Douglas, is the living conduit bringing these spiritual technologies from the Master Angels into physical form. So there's really no better person to hear from regarding the proper use of these tools. The body disc is something I really don't go anywhere without, as I said, but that includes travel. It's actually, I never thought of it this way until I'm talking about it right now, but it's part of my first aid kit. It is my first line of defense, along with the other discs that we're going to talk about. We're going to continue on in the next 2 episodes to talk about 2 discs. One is the mold, fungus, and dust mite repair disc. And the other that I am going to talk about is the cold and flu disc. These are 2 discs that are the same size as the body repair disc. And now that I'm thinking about it, they're part of my first aid kit that I carry with me everywhere. It's like I always keep a Band-Aid or 2 in my various pouches or purses or whatever when I'm out and about in the world. I also carry these discs with me, along with the food repair disc. So they're very much a constant part of my life, and they could be for you too. So I'm going to leave it there for today. As I said, we're going to cover 2 more discs in our next 2 episodes. If you're interested in looking into these tools or finding out more, please visit globalcma.org. And again, I don't get any kickbacks from any of this. I am creating a season about this now because these tools have impacted my life so much and so positively, and just changed so much in such a positive way for me. Every single one of these tools, that is why I'm doing the season about this. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I wanted to wait for when the angels told me to. And that's why it's coming out now. And it's also, I think, even though these things started working for me right away, when I started using them 9 years ago, it lends credibility to the fact that these are still working for me. I'm still blown away by the miracles that come out of using these tools. And now that I have been doing it for so long, I just see more and more and more and know the truth about them. And I guess just want to share that. These tools are available to everyone, but it's not advertised. It's not marketed. That's not how this body of knowledge works. It's kind of by ear. The goal is not to have as many buyers as possible or as many adherents as possible. It's just to be there for when people hear about it and can sense its truth and can use it and transform their lives themselves when they're ready to. So take it or leave it. It is not a journey for everyone, but all of this is available to everyone who's interested. As always, thank you for listening. Stay positive, stay safe, and stay meta.
The Let's Get Metaphysical podcast is an Up, and Awaken production and is produced and hosted by Renata Maniaci. Our intention is to raise the vibration of the planet by sharing, validating, and normalizing spiritual and metaphysical experiences. The Let's Get Meta podcast is inspired by angels and supported by angels. If you would like to be a patron angel of the podcast, visit patreon.com/letsgetmeta Thank you for listening. Stay meta.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.